Welcome back to our weekly market wrap-up. Equity indices closed lower this week, weighed down by global headwinds including rising bond yields and U.S. credit concerns. Despite positive domestic data, investor focus remained on global cues, resulting in cautious market sentiment. So stay tuned. By the end of this video, we'll unpack what drove the markets and what lies ahead for investors. This week, the Sensex fell 0.7%, while the Nifty 50 slipped 0.6%. The BSE Mid-Cap Index declined 0.3%, and the Small Cap Index also ended lower. These movements reflect investor concerns over global volatility, rising bond yields, and valuation worries, overshadowing strong domestic economic data. Let's take a look at this week's key economic updates. India's core infrastructure output slowed to just 0.5% in April from 4.6% in March, indicating softer industrial momentum. Retail inflation for farm and rural workers eased slightly to 3.4% and 3.5% respectively. However, private sector activity rebounded, with the HSBC Composite Index rising to 61.2 in May, thanks to robust services growth. Fitch Ratings upgraded India's potential GDP growth to 6.4% for the next 5 years, citing increasing labor force participation. IMF reaffirmed India as the world's fastest-growing major economy. Globally, China's industrial output slowed to 6.1% in April, with retail sales and investments underwhelming. The Chinese central bank responded by cutting lending rates. Indonesia also cut its interest rates to 5.5%, while Australia reduced its policy rate to 3.8% amid easing inflation. In Japan, a surprise trade deficit was recorded, with continued contraction in manufacturing. Meanwhile, in the UK, inflation rose to 3.5% in April, and core inflation came in at 3.8%, pointing to persistent pricing pressure. Here are this week's top gainers. Bharat Electronics Limited, BL, rose 5.4% and hit a 10-year high. It is set to replace Inducing Bank in the BSE Sensex 30 index, effective June 23. HDFC Life Insurance gained 3.9%, also touching a 10-year high, driven by bullish market sentiment. Tata Steel advanced 3.4% as it announced a 27,000 crore expansion of its Kalinganagar plant, increasing capacity from 3 to 8 MTPA. On the downside, among the losers, we had Grasim Industries declined 5.1%, despite posting a 17% YOY revenue jump in Q4 FY25, exceeding estimates by 3.2%. Maruti Suzuki dropped 4.1%, following a 4% YOY decline in profit. Mahindra & Mahindra, M&M, fell 3.9% amid rising competitive pressures, particularly with Tesla's potential entry into the Indian auto space. In the unlisted space, Sterlite Electric secured orders worth 7,500 crore in FY25, buoyed by a robust Q4. SEBI chairperson Tuhin Kanta Pandey announced that pending issues related to the NSE IPO are nearing resolution, paving the way for the much-awaited listing. Other high-interest unlisted companies include MSCI, NSE, Apollo Green Energy, Farmesi, CSK, NSDL, and Tata Capital. Get in touch with us to learn more. That wraps up this week's market highlights. Here's what to watch in the week ahead. Next week, market sentiment may remain cautious amid global uncertainties, valuation concerns, and trade deal delays. While FIIs might stay reserved, strong domestic earnings, the upcoming RBI dividend, and recent macro data could provide support. Key upcoming events include India's industrial and manufacturing production data for April, releasing on Wednesday, the 28th of May, 2025. India's Q1 GDP data, due on Friday, the 30th of May, after a 6.2% growth in the previous quarter. In the US, watch out for durable goods orders on Tuesday, FOMC minutes on Wednesday, and Q1 GDP second estimate on Thursday. Finally, on Friday, the core PCE inflation, personal income, and spending data for April will be released. That's all for today. Subscribe to our channel Tikona Capital for more insights and wealth-building opportunities from the themes of the decade. Explore more on ticonacapital.smallcase.com to know more. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next week.